Kinfolk, welcome to another episode of the Black Owned Podcast. I am your host, the main man with the game plan. The game plan ain't the same plan. I've been a major figure since baby pictures. Janice's oldest boy, Sincere, is in the building. And I know y'all are wondering, why is Harpo on the screen? And where is Peaches?
We starting already.
Shout out to Peaches, you know what I'm saying? She out there getting what the kids call the bag.
The bag.
And, was not able to make it this evening. But I do have little running mate with me, you know what I mean?
Hey.
On UNLV tonight. You know what I'm saying? From the I Often Wonder podcast. Introduce yourself, my mans.
Sincere, appreciate you for having me on the Black Owned Podcast. Just in case I'm new to this audience, I am the Wild Card Mark, aka Modelo Mark, aka the chocolate favorite rapper, aka Panty Dropper, aka Lamar Wallace, representing the I Often Wonder podcast. So trust me, it is a pleasure that you invited me on the co-host. Much love. Boom.
No doubt, brother. Peace and grace. Good to have you, boy. Again, I guess get the housekeeping out the way. Please follow us on all of our social media at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, all Black Owned Podcasts, and follow I Often Wonder at
www.ioftenwonder19.com.
Got it. All right, man. So tonight we're going to be talking about our main topic is going to be toxic masculinity. But we're going to cover a few things before we get into that, and also, of course, our Black-owned business of the week. And we got back with us Doc Reed, going to be with us today to give us the fix with Doc Reed. You know, Doc Reed is our neighborhood-friendly author and holistic practitioner. You hear me? So he's going to be on today to give us a little bit of that good old word of his. But before we do that, man, I just want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, let's go into the local news, give that a little rundown. I am here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so we can already pretty much tell or know what one of mine is going to be, and that is the weather. The weather here is crazy. I think we've seen the worst of it at this point. Today, I noticed that the snow and ice were beginning to melt. I actually got in my car today for the first time in about 4 days.
Wow.
So yeah, it looks like things hopefully are heading to the right direction. I know that sometime next week or all next week, we're supposed to be at above 60 all week. So
y'all need it.
Yeah, thanks. You know what I mean? So there's still a lot of people without power, still a lot of people without any running water, still a lot of people without heat, of course. So we still have quite a ways to go as far as being 100% in the clear. And I heard the mayor, I believe, or the governor from Arizona or whatever, you know, talking noise, you know, saying that we asked it, you know, for handouts. I want to personally say, fuck you. We got some real things going on down here, and some people who are in some real dire situations. Talk about what you know about. You obviously don't know anything about what's going on down in this area. So
cool.
that's one for my local news. The second one, man, is I don't know if well, I'm sure that most don't know that there was a pastor down here who he made some very kind of racist remarks about Kamala Harris. And when it was brought to the attention of the leadership of the Southern Baptist Convention, nothing was done about it. So we have a pastor here. His name's Pastor McKissick. And what he did was he withdrew him and his church from the Southern Baptist Convention. Of course, that was met with resistance. He fought through and still decided that it doesn't matter what these people say, he's going to relinquish him and his church from the organization, and was also in receipt of some very negative and nasty emails and letters from other pastors who are a part of the convention, which just goes to show Racism is racism. It don't matter if the racist is wearing a choir robe or not. It's still the same. But you just hate to see it when it's coming from an organization and from a place that's supposed to be for all people. You know what I'm saying? So that's my local news for what's going on down here in Dallas Fort Worth. Over to you, Lamar.
Man, so the craziness that's going down in the Dallas Fort Worth area with that weather has slowly creeped its way over here to the North Carolinas. Ooh. Oh boy, we ain't got it quite as bad as you guys. So trust me, our thoughts and our prayers are with y'all. Hopefully y'all come back on the other side safe and sound. Everybody get your power, get you some fresh water and some food to eat. We still praying for y'all, but we got to take care of some house cleaning. Duke Energy, who is the power source of the Carolinas, has already guesstimated that it might be up close to 1 million power outages by the end of tonight. So we got already probably about 30,000 reported cases closer to the Appalachian Mountains. So this whole rainstorm is literally slowly going across the state. It kind of took you guys down in the southwest down a little bit, and it's slowly creeping its way towards the southeast. So, man, this is crazy time that the South is cold.
Yeah, man.
like we damn up top.
Yeah, man. Hey, but make sure that what I'm saying, y'all, be properly prepared, man, and stay safe up there.
Oh no,
we talking from experience. Make sure you got some water and some flashlights and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, trust. Yeah. I already got the whole survival kit. I grew up in the Midwest, so I grew up in Kansas.
So what it is.
We get ice, snow, and I lived in Iowa and I lived in Jersey, so I'm prepared for all that. I'm not even worried about that. But I'm still staying in the house because these Southerners don't know how to drive in this mess. So.
That's a fact.
Hey, look, I got all my necessary food, survival kit. I got my little CBD products I need to take care of. I'm good. I'm good over here. I'm straight. But in positive news, I'm gonna end the news with so NCCU, North Carolina Central University, out here in Durham, North Carolina, historically black college.
I like it.
Announced Wednesday that its new Tech Law and Policy Center just got a $5 million pledge from big tech giant Intel.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah, that's big.
So, especially when you get a historically black college, getting a pledge of that amount of money helps create, more opportunities for, folks that look like us to, be part of big giant tech companies like Intel, learn from the best, and eventually do our own, black-owned tech companies. So I think it's a big move, and sometimes, we got to understand that we can't do and break barriers by ourselves. So, big shout out to Intel investing in the youth of color.
I like that. That's a good look, man. That's a good look.
Oh,
my man Candy say it's 70 in the Bangham. For those who don't know, that's Jacksonville, Florida. What up, my boy? Yeah, I know, right? You know what I'm saying? I would throw a little proverbial shade, but I ain't gonna hate on you. But anyway, that's the local news rundown, man. Hey,
I'm just saying when y'all talk about jersey selection, and that's all y'all got to talk about in the off season.
Oh my God, bro. And we got the first pick, and I still think we're gonna find some type of way to jack this up, bro. Right there in your face. I hope so. Right. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's it for our local news rundown, man. We're gonna give y'all a little couple seconds of break, and we'll be right back at it like a crack addict with the black-owned business of the week. You heard me.
I don't hate, I motivate my people to elevate and rise above the fray to show God is great. Not blasphemous, but magnanimous, without any animus to show that they're fabulous. With a little bashfulness being the catalyst for adult learners to conquer calculus, mathematics, regression analysis. We can all learn if we were not drug addicts.
All right,
I like that.
Tuning in, man. This is the Black Owned Podcast, and this is our Black Owned Business Spotlight of the week. And we have with us Ashley, who's representing Lotus, Bliss, Botanicals. How you doing, Ashley?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Hey.
We are doing wonderful. Tell us a little bit about, Lotus, Bliss, Botanicals, and what products you provide and services, so forth and so on.
Okay, for sure. So, but before I get into it, I seen that we had somebody from Florida that was in the chat, and I gotta say what's up. I'm from Florida too. So,
what part?
I'm from Miami.
Oh, okay, I'm from Duval County.
There we go. We all Floridians.
Hey.
Okay, so
never mind.
Yeah, don't do it. I'm gonna mute your mic. Okay, go ahead.
So, get into it. So my name's Ashley. I'm the founder of Lotus Bliss Botanicals. So Lotus Bliss Botanicals is a cannabis wellness company. We focus primarily on like women's health, self-care, helping women find themselves, through connecting with their body. So we have a lot of wellness products that kind of help women take care of themselves and get more connected with themselves. And we also have edibles. So we do full spectrum CBD edibles. And I love to always emphasize that it's full spectrum because there's differences in like CBD. Yes, there's definitely differences in people that use CBD or people that are familiar with like you can tell difference between like in your plant, tell when something's there and when something's not. So full spectrum, I feel like really is the best type of way to use CBD because that's when it is taken directly from the plant, not really like they're just isolating only CBD or they're just wanting to get certain parts of the plant out. There's nothing like that. It's the whole complete plant working together to kind of give you the benefits that you're looking for. So there's terpenes in there. There's other cannabinoids other than CBD in there. And when it's full spectrum, you can really just kind of feel the whole plant working together to give you what you need. So we do CBD edibles and CBD wellness products. That's Lotus Bliss Botanicals.
So some people may ask, what is a full spectrum CBD? I would say it's like a step down from Reggie. from Reggie THC. You hear me? You know what that is? It's a step down. The step just like right there, you know what I mean? Right there.
Did you say regular? Did you say Reggie?
Do they even sell Reggie anymore? Every time I gotta tell people, they be like, "Hey man, you gotta come get this Buddha cut." I'm like, "What?" Bruh. I don't know. Too much. Anyway, so I know when I went to your website, it did have a lot of things there that had to do with women's wellness and CBD. So, did you bring those two together in some type of way?
I did. So one thing for me is for like a lot of women's issues I would have, like if I'm feeling pain or anything, I would always use THC. I would always use that. That helps me that would help me feel better. Any pain I had, it was gone. Any like moodiness or mood swings I was going through, I felt calm. I will always use THC. And it was like, I want other people to understand that you can use this plant to make yourself feel better. You can use this plant to feel better in your body. So there was definitely that connection there for me between using cannabis and my personal wellness. That's something to suggest to like any woman in my life. Like, you having problems, listen, you probably need to smoke one. You probably need to try some CBD. Exactly.
Pull past that joint, baby.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a good thing. So we know. So what is the difference between CBD and THC?
Great question.
Because Lamar is a THC connoisseur.
I am a THC connoisseur. So you know, I can taste Reggie, right? Oh yeah, this ain't it. You know, this ain't it. This ain't loud enough. It's whispering.
We can talk about the Reggie comment because CBD isn't. Don't put it in the same category as Reggie, okay?
Yeah. I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Okay, but so that's a really good question, and a lot of people always want to know what the difference between CBD and THC is. I would say that with CBD, you don't feel any of the psychological effects that you get with THC. So any of like that euphoria or you know, any of those other effects that you can kind of really feel throughout your body, you don't get that with CBD. With CBD, it's more so definitely like emotional well-being, mental well-being. It's much more subtle than THC. So
you won't have those I can't feel my face moments.
So you won't have any of those. Basically, CBD and THC, they both come from the same plant, but CBD just has less than like 0.3% of THC. So that's not enough for you to feel any major effects. Like you wouldn't be paranoid, you wouldn't feel euphoria, but you will still feel like balanced. You will feel calm. You will feel like, you know, something just like when you spoke THC, something's kind of going on around you, you don't really care that much. Same with CBD, you know, it's more so on that mental well-being. You're still calm and stuff is going on. Man, I'll be all right. I'm fine because you're feeling balanced, you're relaxed. So those are kind of the differences. You won't necessarily feel any psychological effects with CBD.
That's dope. That's dope. So I got a quick question for you, Ashley. How do you combat people that's going to come up to you with the product that you're selling that they're already thinking, oh, weed, drug. How do you combat certain people's preconceived notions that that's what you're trying to push?
So I kind of would just ask them, you know, like, what are some of the things like, you know, what are some of the things that most everyday adults are going through? You know, there's sleeplessness, there's anxiety, there's worry that we're constantly going through, especially like, you know, nowadays, there's just so many things that adults might go through. And it's not that I'm trying to push weed. I'm trying to push wellness. I'm trying to push, you know, having that sense of feeling balanced throughout the day. So I will always turn it around to what kind of wellness effects that I'm trying to have. I want everybody to feel good, you know. Sometimes it might be with weed, but I definitely went.
I was waiting for it. I was like, I know you want to talk about CBD, but come on now. Look, Swishers or what you rolling with?
Papers.
Hey, there you go. Now we're talking.
I seen a video on your thing where you rolled up with rose petals.
Yeah, I seen that.
So somebody got a question. Keith what up, Keith? Got a question that do you have to be licensed to sell CBD products?
Yes, so you definitely do have to be licensed in your state to sell CBD products. There's like a couple licenses that you need to just kind of handle hemp products and to sell hemp products. So you do have to be licensed in your state to sell it. You go through quite a lot of paperwork. They want to know everything about everything, but it's definitely worth it.
You ain't got to take a drug test, do you?
I hope not.
They already know. Ain't nobody going.
Ain't passing that joint.
You know, here's a question that I've had, because a lot of times, I'm not gonna lie, I think because you know I just visited the weed spot not too long ago, downtown, and it just seemed like basically like the CBD spots are just kind of like waiting for the for marijuana to be legal. When that happens, do y'all have like head of the line pass to get the license to sell whenever they say that, you know, marijuana is recreational?
So that's a super awesome question. I would not say that we kind of have like a fast pass to sell cannabis when it becomes legal, but I do know that by working like in the cannabis industry and selling CBD products, you're definitely, you know, way ahead of everybody who has not been, because you've already got your licenses in order. You've already submitted everything you need building wise. You've already submitted everything like the government needs. It would just basically be like, you know, now you're selling a different product in a different category, you know, under the same business that you've established and maintained. So that's the part that's easier. But in regards to like, you know, like licensing and like business wise from like a different standpoint ahead of us, like we don't really have control over that, but we're definitely getting in the game so that as soon as they tell us that we can go, we are running.
Cool.
Yeah, and when you get set up, I need let a bro get a whole zip or some shit.
I'm gonna call you.
As far as the wellness portion of CBD, like what are some of the products that you offer on your website, and what are some of their uses?
Okay, so for wellness products, I have like a it's basically a Bliss balm. So it's a pain relieving topical, and you know, it's made from like arnica flowers, and arnica is a plant that has really potent pain relieving properties. So the arnica flowers and their plant-based pain relieving properties paired with the CBD, that is like a really potent like pain relief rub. So I use it a lot of the times for migraines. I'll just rub some on my temples. I use it with my grandmother. She experiences chronic pain all over her body, and she'll ask me like rub it on her. So I do have that. That's a pain relief topical. And then also I have another wellness product. It's a Luminizing Massage Oil, and it's basically a breast oil. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Luminize, do it glow in the dark or something?
It might a little bit.
You know, I might have to get some of that, rub some on, so you know what I'm talking about.
Listen, it's great, okay? Because so what it is, it's a bronze. It has bronze coloring in it, so that it's really a vibrant, glittery, beautiful product that's super aesthetically pleasing. But then it also has this CBD in it. It's to help women to get comfortable with their bodies. A lot of the times women go through so many different phases with their breasts, whether it be through breastfeeding, whether it be through just, you know, weight changes. There's so many different phases that women's breasts can go through. And I feel like it's definitely important to, you know, stay connected to what your body has going on with you. So with this product, I want women to, you know, get connected to their body. I want them to perform their monthly breast exams. A lot of men don't do that. There's no fun in that. We're not seeing the, you know, we're not trying to hurry up to do that. But with the Luminizing Massage Oil, it's beautiful, it's luxurious, it's vibrant. That I'm hoping that that'll make women, you know, want to stay more in tune with their breasts. If they notice any changes, they don't have to wait on their doctor has said it to them, you know, because they are connected to what's going on in their body. So that's one product that we have as well. And with that product, a portion of the proceeds also go to a breast cancer foundation. So, you know, it's all about,
awesome.
Yeah, it's all about helping women to get connected to themselves, things like that. We also have bath soaks that are super aromatic and super fragrant, smell lovely. So those are some of the wellness products that we have.
Okay. Awesome. Jamel, so to answer you, I think only penicillin can help with that, brother. You probably yeah. I don't think no CBD products can help with that, man. You gonna have to go see somebody else.
Yeah, you got something else, dog.
Yeah.
CBD ain't got nothing for that.
You're gonna have to go get something else for that, brother. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
THC can't do nothing for that. It'll make you forget that you can't.
Facts. You hear me? Ashley, look, it was great, you know, having you on here and telling us a little bit about your business. I certainly appreciate you giving me your time. Everybody, please make sure that you go to Lotus Botanicals.com. It's a Black woman-owned cannabis business, so please do all that we can to support her. That we can to support her and her business. All right, is it? You want to give any shout outs, Ash?
I want to shout out like all of my friends, all of my family, like all of my associates, especially like in my coach class, my business coach, like everybody that's been there for me since this business was like just an idea in my head. They've helped me, you know, like navigate all these regulations, all this paperwork and getting everything done. And I'm so thankful to everybody that's for me. And I want to thank y'all for letting me come on today. I had a great time.
No doubt. I'll spark one up for you, Shawty. Good job.
Yes.
Indeed. Well, we are gonna have you right back on in a couple of minutes, so you can be somewhat, hopefully, a voice of reason for our main topic today. So stand by. We'll be right back with you. All right. All right, and remember, man, if you got a Black-owned business or you know someone who has a Black-owned business and they would like to be presented in our Black-owned business of the week, please email us at oneblack-owned-podcast@gmail.com. That's the number one Black-owned podcast at gmail.com. We also need to get those shout outs too. You know what I mean? Y'all was doing good for about 2 weeks, then y'all fell off bad. So you know what I mean, y'all do that if you can, man. We sure appreciate it, man. What you think about that, big dog?
Man, that was some dope information, and honestly, I love that you had it on here for a lot of people to stop, you know, generalizing, you know, marijuana and as in it's such a taboo thing, and but you know, people have been using cannabis for centuries. You know, people, they don't want to, you know, play into that stigma that, you know, you do get great health benefits from it. And let's be honest, and I've been a big advocate of legalizing marijuana, not just because, you know, I use it for recreational use because of my cataracts. But no, just think about with this whole pandemic situation.
Right.
That can be probably one of the quickest ways that we can stimulate the economy by just legalizing it. And then not only that, if you decriminalize it, you might see majority of your people's not be getting, you know, put away for a petty little nugget. You know what I'm saying? Like, fill the jails up with killers, rapists, and pedophiles. You know? I'm just saying, you know, I don't want to take it that extreme, but you know, when it comes to marijuana, like, there's great benefits. I mean, I just for me, you know, I've been in the culinary industry since I was 18. I'm 33 now. So, you know, sleeping problems. I got sleep apnea like crazy. Insomniac at times. You know, I get, you know, joint problems in my knees, my back, you know, all that helps. And, you know, you get a professional to come speak about it. I think that's dope. And
yeah, man, that's straight, man. Especially you know, when you think about all of the the benefits of CBD. I mean, and we didn't even scratch the surface here. I mean, the because your body actually has cannabinoids already, and this CBD actually helps with, you know, kind of maintaining your levels, because sometimes when those levels are out of whack, it's how, you know, other things, you know, come about, like migraines. I suffer from chronic migraines, you know, myself. I used to have somewhat, you know, kind of like back pain, and I actually have CBD topical that I rubbed on it. Knock it out every time. It's undefeated.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, just knowing what you could do, yeah, you know what I mean? When you understand it, I think it kind of takes that stigma away. Same thing for THC. When I retired from the military, I got real smart on THC. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. So you know, just so I would know what I was doing, you know what I mean, or you know, what my kids might be doing.
Yeah.
You know, just being brutally honest, just checking it out, man, making sure everything is everything. And when you educated on it, they kind of take the fear away from everything, and then you have a whole better understanding. So yeah, I'm sure Ashley is educating her consumers on what it is that they're doing. Dispensaries on every corner here in Vegas. Been hard for Black entrepreneurs to obtain licenses, and that's the thing, man. And that was somewhat why I asked that question about the CBD licenses, because I know, I think it was in Chicago. If you wanted to have a license there, because it recently went legal there. For you to have, you have to already have a building to sell it out of. The application fee is like $800,000.
Say what?
And that does not guarantee that you're going to get a license.
So pretty much almost a whole meal.
Almost a whole meal, and you don't, and that doesn't even guarantee that you're going to get a license. You know what I mean? I mean, that's crazy.
The way my bank account set up.
Yeah, facts. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, if I had that much money to give you, I need a guarantee for this.
Yeah. So let's get right into this thing, man. I'm gonna bring our resident author and holistic practitioner on, and with my man Doc Reed. Doc, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Great day, everybody. How everybody doing today?
Everybody good, man.
Good, brother. How are you?
You said you had sleep apnea, Lamar. You have difficult breathing while you're sleeping?
Man, bro, all the time. Like my old lady gets mad at me if I sleep on my back. It sounds like I'm damn
on your left side, Lamar. That's just a little advice. You could try that.
Yeah, it works every time. Right when I slide over, I shut up. So
yeah. So you good then? So you good then?
Cannabis can also be used for fuel too. That's another thing. It can be used for a whole bunch of different things and resources. Right. And it will be legal by 2023. What I was going to say is the first thing I want to say.
Did you say for love potion?
Huh?
Did you say
you can't use it for love potion?
Oh!
That's what I thought you saying.
Like you put fuel in your car.
Oh yeah.
It's a guy that built the car. He used hydrogen. His car is running. He built the car that's running off hydrogen. You don't hear too much about it because that'll break a lot of people's pockets.
Facts. That's a fact.
But the first thing I want to talk about is the power outages. What can we do as a people to have unity, to come together when these lights go out, so that we can be safe, or that we can make sure everybody got food? I think that not just in Texas, you know, what Joe Biden saying this dark winter day, and then we seeing that this dark winter, or that's what it was called, dark winter, right?
Right.
This dark winter thing came across. When we seeing it really happening in Texas, we need to really now think ahead to the future. If it happens again, it can happen again within the next 2 weeks. It can happen in the summertime if it's HARP. I don't know if y'all ever heard of HARP.
I haven't.
It was a military program that manipulated the weather. If y'all don't, y'all can look that up. But we got to still keep sticking to the call to unity. And, you know, every day is a day to practice it. And what can we do as a people? What can y'all do in Texas to say, help the other person that doesn't have food or water or electric? How can y'all come together? I think that should be your main focus, even with the weather warming up.
Right.
What I did today is when I got up this morning, I get up at 3 a.m., but I got on TikTok probably like 8 o'clock this morning, and everybody that I seen in Texas, the first time I asked them to do, I said, think of the warmest day that you ever experienced in Texas. Can y'all do that now?
Yeah.
And everybody that's listening, can y'all think of the warmest day, even if you're not in Texas, just think of the warmest day you ever had. Because we have the power of our minds to warm up Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's been proven that manifestation is real. And if we all get on the same frequency, we can manifest faster.
Define
so that's
manifestation.
Yes, that's one thing we can do. If we all think of the warmest day we all had, we can warm up everywhere.
What is manifestation for those of us that don't know?
What you say?
What is manifestation for those of us that don't know?
Manifestation is the ability to bring your thoughts into substance.
Okay, got it.
It's basically the law of attraction to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just the law of attraction, it's a little bit more deeper.
Okay.
When you manifest, you see yourself there before you actually get there sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You see the end before you even see the beginning with manifestation most times.
That's like when my mom used to say, speak it into existence.
Speaking into existence, absolutely.
Got
These things are true. If you look at the CIA documents, they say people that have the ability to really use the left and right hemisphere can manipulate the universe and the ability to do what it wants it to do.
Yeah, I
or have the visions that they want to have. Even now with NASA or these space people or whatever, they're trying to say we live in a hologram. I mean, this is just their science. This is things they're coming up with.
Yeah, they wild.
They're trying to say it's really a matrix.
They must have had too much of that THC.
No, they be lying. They never even been outside the fair zone. That's that blue layer up there.
I'm gonna have to go check
United
my
States shot missiles into it.
Smoked up. Shit.
Okay, they should call that should be a new name. I got that NASA.
I got that NASA. That's that cat.
I know. Hey, so there's a comment here from Mr. Russ that said that sounds like Buddhism or chanting. Get things in life by chanting for them.
I guess you could say that to a certain. Listen, one thing about me, Ted, I don't practice any religion. I'm spiritual. A religion is a form of rituals and control. To each their own. I don't knock nobody's religion. Me personally, I just get in tune within. I tap in within because God, or the source from where we all come from, is not without me. It's within me. Nothing is really like everything is surrounded around that source of that fire within us. That fire we breathe in oxygen and let out carbon monoxide. That's what flames do.
Facts.
So you gotta remember, you are walking flame.
Energy.
You gotta keep your light lit. And yes, I have a friend that's Buddhism and metaphysics and stuff like that. She believes in that type of things. But yeah, that's definitely an example. Things I say you might hear in every religion. Or might hear in one religion.
And one way or another.
No religion for me at all, Ted. Don't mix me with religion. Just know I'm a spiritual person. Ain't no Buddhism, ain't no Islam, Christianity, none of that.
Cool. Hey, baby, I appreciate you. That was the fix with Doc Reed. Doc, you gonna stay on with us and talk about this toxic masculinity, or you gonna roll out?
Yeah. I'm gonna talk about the toxic masculinity because I need to know, because masculinity is being attacked at an all-time high.
You ain't lying. And since we are gonna get into that, we're gonna bring Miss Ashley back. You know what I'm saying? Because we gotta have that feminine energy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying in here. I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Just not in balance though. Not crazy. Ain't crazy. All right. All right. Anyway, so let me start this thing off, man. So toxic masculinity. I'm gonna be reading from my phone so y'all don't trip. Toxic masculinity, according to the New York Times, is what can come of teaching boys that they can't express emotion openly, that they have to be tough all the time, that anything other than that makes them feminine or weak. It's described in academic and media circles as to referring to certain cultural norms that are associated with harm to society, to men themselves, and perpetuates domination, homophobia, and aggression. I'm going to be the first to say that I do not like the term toxic masculinity for two reasons. One, because it does not have a counterpart, which is toxic. It does have a counterpart, which is toxic femininity. The difference being toxic masculinity is what is kind of forced on to others from men. Toxic femininity is forced on to women from others. So it's completely different, right? The other thing that I don't like about the term toxic masculinity is if it's used 10 times, 9 of those times it's in reference to a black male. That's why I have strong issue with the term toxic masculinity. It's been used a lot lately, you know, in the media. Most women mistake toxic masculinity with male leadership. I agree. I think male leadership has actually begun to make a comeback. Even though the media will tell you otherwise, I can tell from the people that, you know, that I am around and, you know, secondhand people that, you know, that is beginning to make a comeback as far as leadership. Do I believe like women are inferior to men? I do not. But this term toxic masculinity is kind of if you've heard me speak on, you know, any of these kind of topics, I will always tell black women that the feminist movement is not yours. It was never meant for you. It was only meant for you to champion for white women. But when Sandra Bland was murdered, where was the feminist movement then? You know, when Tatiana Jefferson was murdered, where were you? They're not there for you, but they just want you to be there for them. So that's my take right now on toxic masculinity and what I believe it is and why I disagree with it. Ashley, I would love to hear what a woman's version or thought on toxic masculinity is.
So can you repeat that first definition that you read again?
Toxic masculinity, according to the New York Times, it is what can come of teaching boys that they can't express emotion openly, that they have to be tough all the time, and that anything other than that makes them feminine or weak.
So, I mean, I'm not really completely like familiar with toxic masculinity. Like, I don't really like get. I don't really each person like each
Ashley,
young man that's
you know they say
brought up.
don't cry.
Yeah.
That's what they mean when they say toxic masculinity. If I fall on a little boy, they be like, "You a boy, don't cry." That's what they mean by toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like each man that's brought up, like I would hope that, you know, whoever's bringing him up, they know, because everybody's different. Every child is different. Some do well with, you know, more love. Some do well with learning from their mistakes. Everybody's different. But I will say that I don't agree with, like, you know, treating boys different just because your boys, not looking at the situation, not looking at their personality trait. Like, I feel like it should be equal. Like, if a little girl falls and she's crying and nobody says anything, or, you know, she's coddled, I feel like the same thing should be done for a little boy that, you know, is going through the same thing. I feel like when you don't take into account the young man and how he feels or his situation, and you're kind of just, you know, expect him to do, I don't think that's right. But I also do understand that, you know, depending on how you want to raise, you know, your child, or you want to raise a young person that you're around a certain way, like, you know, there's certain things that you do like talk to them about, you do put in place for them so that they can take the best out of that situation. I feel like it depends, if that made any sense.
I don't know that so the thing that one thing that you said that kind of, you know, made my ears perk is equality. Equality is non-existent. It doesn't exist. What does exist is fairness, right? equality can't exist just because it won't be allowed to exist with the many variables that go on throughout, life. A man is different from a woman. That's just period, right? When a woman has a child, when a man and a woman get together and they have a child, they don't have equal rights. One has a natural right and the other one has a legal right. That they're not equal. You know what I'm saying? So
say that shit again, boy.
So the equality part of it, I don't understand.
Yeah,
and
I like think that. I never heard it like that before.
Hold on. Hey, rewind.
That was amazing. Yeah, start from the beginning with that.
Come on, man.
That's how I'm gonna post this on my page. That's how they need to hear it.
Hey, no, you ain't gonna act like you just went Black Aristotle.
Come on, bro. Come on. We having a Socratic dialogue, brother. That's what it's called. You hear me? But yeah, I just don't think it exists. But fairness does exist. But toxic masculinity has become a problem because it's used and now it's being weaponized. And I think that's where the issues come in at. If I'm strong, as a black man, if I'm strong and I stand on what I say and I mean what I say, and I don't have any waver in me in the face of whatever, whether it be power, other people, whoever, then I'm seen as being someone who is toxic masculinity. I don't understand where we're coming, you know what I'm saying, with that. I think we need to, especially as a community, we need to definitely understand ourselves what it is, right? Because we operate largely in colloquialisms, just stuff that we know. Hey, what's going on, my boy? What's cracking, Captain? You know what I'm saying? That's how we talk. You know what I mean? So when we have people that might sit before us or send us little pamphlets in the mail, and it's saying that don't let your sons become a victim of toxic masculinity. I'm gonna tell you something. When I used to when my sons were younger, I had one son in particular. He would when he fell down, if you looked at him, he would cry.
Right. Well, that is some kids,
but if you didn't look at him, he wouldn't cry. So whatever, like people was around or whatever, and he'd fall down, I tell my my people who was around, don't look at him. And they'd be like, what? Don't look at him, because if you don't look at him, because he really ain't hurt.
It's attention he was looking for.
Yeah, it's attention or it's pride. It's pride hurt, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. You know what I mean?
I believe we gotta teach our boys to be men and our girls to be women. It's just that simple.
Okay, so now this is where we're going to throw toxic masculinity at, right? Because I'm going to play devil's advocate. Okay. What you mean? Those are gender roles. We don't prescribe to those gender roles. It's all about you're trying to portray your patriarchal ideals on.
I understand where you're coming from, sir, with your pro-choice thing, but at the end of the day, you cannot have a baby without my semen. And I cannot have a baby without your uterus and your ovaries and your egg. So that's the difference right there. That's why there are gender roles. You have the ability to carry the baby. I have the ability to implant the baby.
I still don't like it. I still don't agree with it. I think that you're trying to make it seem like women are just supposed to be barefoot and pregnant at home. And
I never said that women should be barefoot or pregnant, but in naturality, we go back to the dawn of time. Women carry babies. I mean, I know I've seen pregnant pictures of my mom when she was carrying me. I can't speak for everybody. I mean, my mom wasn't asymptomatic. You know what that means? That when a person is or a species is asymptomatic, they don't need a male or a female. They have the babies who are by themselves, like a lizard.
Right.
So we're not asymptomatic people or species. We're mammals at the end of the day. So let's look to nature. The animals don't. The animals even have gender roles.
Facts.
So you trying to tell me I'm below an animal?
I'm trying to tell you that you're trying to put women in a box.
No, I would never put women in a box. I put women on a pedestal because I came from a woman. So I have much respect for a woman. Right. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna be the one to protect that woman. Not saying she can't protect herself. She can.
Yes, she can.
Be
Women can do what
she can be an expert.
Women can do whatever men can do.
Not just a marksman. She can be an expert shooter. So at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say she can't protect herself. She can be an expert fighter.
Right.
But I'm here to protect her too.
So what is this then? So is this a greater kind of manner of propaganda where they're trying to produce weak and docile men?
Yes, that's what they're trying to do. Absolutely. I had the thing up when they was talking about they don't want nobody to tell their kids what their gender is. They want their kids to pick their genders when they're 4 years old. And they were saying that's when they something about I forget what words they used, but I know from Friedman and Freud, the one that wrote the psychology book, he said kids don't really know their sexuality till they're 6. So how we get to 4?
Who
Are
knows?
we changing psychology now? I mean, we keep changing the names. We went from pedophilia to pedosexual or pedology.
Pedosexual.
Pedosexual. Like it's getting ridiculous out here.
And the reason why they did that is because they about to legalize that. They about to legalize that.
Lamar, they ain't legalizing that.
Now that's getting.
Nobody's gonna stand for that.
They're gonna.
And it's wartime.
Oh, wartime! I'm strapped right now. I wish come touch my babies. You want to call it legal?
I told and this is no offense to anybody that's Muslim that's watching this. A female was complaining about a guy wanting to have a guy that she knew previously wanted to have her daughter as his attendant. That's in Islam or something like that. And I guess he older and she only probably like 18 or something like that. She basically was like, he watched her grow up. I was this and that. Calling him a pedophile. Well, I said, well, you follow the Prophet Muhammad. He had a 9-year-old wife, 12-year-old wife. So he's a pedophile. You know, you gotta be easy with the Muslim community. So I said, may Allah bring us both true. So I made a dua for him, for us. May Allah bring us both true. But at the end of the day, if you're any of these grown ass men out here think y'all can look or even think about marrying my 9 or 12-year-old, you might as well be. That's the last thing you might as well be thinking about.
It will be.
It will be, right?
Thank you.
Look, Lamar, what's your take on the whole toxic masculinity idea?
To me, the idea of it as a man shouldn't show his feelings or suppress them is actually what's causing a lot of men to have these certain mental issues that we have amongst our community, because there might be situations that they go through trauma and they're not talking. They're not, letting it out, and then it builds up and it turns into something else, and you won't find the result of it until something tragic has happened. You know what I'm saying? And just the way that society has, generalized on what it is to be a man and say you have to fit this, conformed box of what it is to be a man is what's keeping people from being themselves, speaking their truth. For example, so Dwayne Wade's daughter, or son.
Son.
Yeah, son. No, by parts, it's still a son. Look,
you want to be politically correct?
No. But I'm saying, if that's how, for me personally, if I had a son, I wouldn't know how to really handle the situation because I don't have a son. I have a daughter. But if that's still my child, that's still my child.
Would you allow your son? Can I cut you off for 1 second, Lamar? I apologize. Would you allow if you did have a son? Would you allow your son to wear a dress at 12?
I mean, I'm open enough and comfortable enough that I know that I'm still going to be a father, and if my child wants to, be acknowledged that way, may not be comfortable with it. I may not like it, but I'm of the belief that, as a parent, I'm still done enough to make my child a productive citizen in society. You know what I'm saying? Forget all kind of little gender roles. That my child is going to be, they're going to be part of the solution and not the problem in society, if that makes sense. So, I just don't believe, putting people in.
Okay, here you go. Me and my toxic masculinity. Now,
let me say something first.
Go ahead.
I have a 14-year-old son. No, he's not wearing a dress, and there ain't nothing toxic about it. At the end of the day, if he was 12 years old with Dwayne Wade's on this, he definitely wouldn't wear a dress, because even if I wouldn't have a problem. Like if my son was gay, there's nothing I could do about that. You can't change a person's the way they feel. Okay, I understand that. But at the end of the day, you still a child. You ain't. I wouldn't allow my daughter or my daughter to be sexually explicit at 12. So why would I allow my son to be sexually explicit? It ain't got nothing to really do with him wearing a dress. It's the fact that he's only 12 years old, being sexually explicit. He's doing things that has to do with sex at 12 years old. And as a parent, me personally, no, you're too young to be thinking about sex right now. Because you can like what you like, but we're not gonna sexualize you.
Okay. But I'm saying, but then that brings up another conversation. Where exactly are the parents in this whole situation?
We complicit.
But that's what I'm saying. Where exactly are the parents? Like, are they making sure that their kids aren't getting exposed too early to certain mess like this? I mean, that's just what society is. I mean,
for everybody else, where their parents were at. But me personally, I'm gonna go back to the masculinity thing and kids with the emotional thing. No, we should not be telling our kids, our sons, not to cry. No, because then we don't teach our kids to express their emotions and express how they feel.
Yeah,
it's okay to cry. It's okay to express how you feel. That's where the toxic masculinity come in. When you're teaching your child not to express their emotions and feelings, they should be able to do that. And that's just why we having a problem with relationships now in these generations, because these generations of men don't know how to tell these women how they feel.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
And so you know what? And you know what? I'm gonna pass this to Ashley after this, because it's for a woman. If you have to deal with, you may have to deal with a man who is who does suffer from toxic masculinity. But my thing is, the reason why you would have to deal with it, because I'm going to use I'm using myself for example, because my mother raised me, right? And so my mother I think it's natural for mothers, especially for single mothers, to raise their sons according to what type of man that they would be attracted to. Yeah. Not in no type of, you know what I'm saying, sexually disgusting way, but just mannerisms and how you carry yourself, so forth and so on, right? So my mom, my mother is the light of my life. I mean, that's my baby. And she used to be like, and she used to tell me, don't nobody want no soft man. You know what I'm saying? Like women, and she used to tell me, women will try you until you establish a line, until you say, okay, this is the line. I'm not playing with anything past this line. You know what I'm saying?
Enough is enough.
Yeah, this is it right here. And get yourself, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But you need to get yourself together. Hold on, Doc. And so, and I don't see anything wrong with that necessarily, but I think that you probably should have dove a little bit deeper into that when you were talking to a 15, 16-year-old that's like being ran by hormones. Like you can't even control yourself at 15 or 16.
That's a different situation when the hormones are rolling, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We've all been 15 and 16 before.
Facts. Yeah, you wilding at that point in time. Right. But now now I learned a lot in the years in between then and having my kids, and I have 4 boys, and I hug my boys, I kiss them on the cheek or whatever. Now I gotta like reach up to hug one or 2 of them. I don't even like doing that. That's how toxic I am.
You definitely got toxic masculinity, and it's crazy. I was that way a little bit. I don't like the too much affection because that's how I was.
No. I like the affection, but I don't like the fact that I have to reach up. I feel like
he's taller than you. He's taller than you.
I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Sincere, do they pick you up?
Skipped over you.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? However,
what I'm gonna say to you is, being emotional and telling a female how you feel doesn't make you soft.
It does not.
When they say soft, something happens. And listen, I was dating a female probably years ago, and she was telling me about a guy, and something happened, and he didn't stand up for her. That's softness to a female.
Yeah,
they want a man that's going to stand up. They want a man that's going to be stern.
Yeah.
Expressing your feelings and being emotional does not make you soft
at all.
Not standing up and being stern makes you soft. That's what makes you soft. And sometimes when you're not expressing your feelings and your emotions, you're being soft because you're not being stern about how you feel.
So Ashley, you think you ever had to deal with somebody like that?
Yeah, definitely. You know, like if you're teaching a young man as he's growing up to not cry, you know, as a kid, you think that just means like don't feelings, don't show emotions, don't be sad. So man, keeping that mindset, he's not ever really gonna want to be like true with himself about how he feels. Like it's normal, you know, like it's normal to feel sad, it's normal to feel those type of emotions. But when you grow up and you becoming an adult, thinking that it's weak to cry, thinking that it's not be sad, it's not okay, you can't handle a lot of situations that might come your way. And then you try to put yourself into a relationship when you can't even handle your own emotion, you don't know what to do with yourself. If you're sad, that stirs up problems. And I feel like that type of problems and that's the type of drama that women don't want. They don't want a man that doesn't know how to control his emotions because he was never taught or because he was never made to feel like it's okay. And now, you know, you're an adult and things are going on and you can't handle it. You done brought somebody else down with you. That's a problem. That's what I feel, you know, not letting young men like get in touch with their feelings and get into that because we all have a sensitive side. Like, you know, get in touch with that sensitive side of them. You're not able to gain any emotional maturity just thinking that you're going to go through life being on autopilot and thinking that, you know, get sad, you don't get in your feelings. You know, stuff happens. You can't live your life on autopilot. And that the drama might come if you kind of don't gain that emotional maturity.
That's a fact. So to go back to what we were saying about Dwayne Wade and his son, Keith made a comment here that says 12-year-olds aren't thinking about sexual orientation. It's pushed on them. Dwayne Wade's son wasn't booty popping down in Miami in that parade because of his choice. So he's saying that he was down there doing that because Dwayne Wade allowed that to be a choice.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to raising your kids only going to do what their parents allow them to do.
Indeed. And to kind of go piggyback on what Ashley was saying, it's now here's because I still believe there's got to be a point for a man that is just not. It's a luxury for women. Like this is what I tell my sons. There's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with expressing yourself or whatever. Those things need to happen because you have to cleanse all of that out of yourself so that you can be emotionally balanced, right? And it's very important for us to make intelligent decisions for our family. And sometimes we have to purge the emotion so that we can get back at operating how we usually act, right? Because we're cerebral, women are more emotional, right? So I will tell my son, cry, get it out the way, but you need to be right back on the horse as soon as possible so that, you know what I'm saying, you can lead and have your family pointed right back in the same direction. Because I don't care, you know, like if in the home mom runs everything. When the kids got a problem, they go to mom. When we can't find where the cup's at, you know what I'm saying, we ask mom. We need help with homework. You know what I'm saying, we ask mom, even though dad is available, but they just naturally go, you know what I'm saying, to mom. But let the lights not work. They are not going to look at their mother and say, why are the lights working? They're going to look directly at you and say, Daddy, what's up with the lights? You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. So in that sense, you know what I mean? That's why I say there has to be balance. You know what I mean? When you talk about getting in touch with
you can say that now, but in different households, and I mean, me personally, the type of woman I deal with women on high value. So they have money. So I can't necessarily say that the child might look at me. When I was with my son mother, we both did well, and he didn't know he could go to either one of us. Even today, he know that both of us are, you know, financially stable, and he can go to either one of us. So it's not really for me personally. Yes, we are providers, but providing is not always keeping the lights on.
Yeah, I'm saying that in a manner that I don't, you know, even if both of y'all make 200,000 each, it's still going
still
to be
should
that
look for
the
you to have
natural
the lights
reaction is going to be saying to you, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying, they're going to learn according to the interactions between you and her too. You know what I mean? Because I'm a strong believer that if a man can take care of everything in the house, 9 times out of 10, we want to.
He will. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to
pay for everything.
I want to make sure everything's straight. You know what I'm saying? The only reason, you know,
only
what I'm saying,
a user don't want to do something.
Yeah, facts. You know what I mean? Now, if I'm at a point where I can't, then it makes sense to say, all right, I need you to kick in.
Got a 50-60 this, 70-30 this. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's called, working together.
We want to. And I don't think that's toxic masculinity. I just think that men just choose to provide if we're able
naturally
to.
providers. We naturally that's just naturally in us. It's all about how we being raised. And a lot of like a girl asked me recently, like one of my exes, she asked me about why I was cheating and stuff like that. And I had to tell her, like, personally, I never seen my mom being loved properly, so I didn't know how to love a woman properly. My dad ran around with women all the time. That was my dad's thing. So that's how I did. So it's about what kind of examples are we putting in front of our kids and how are we teaching our kids.
So pretty much
your household might be different because you got a 2-parent household. So and they can see you loving on their mother properly, so they know how to love on a woman properly.
Right. But for
so
little
a lot
boys,
of men are not getting that.
But
that example.
Little boys are going to learn like this. And I tell, you know what I'm saying, any, females who I talk to, I tell them that a little boy learns from everything mom says and everything that dad does. It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? So
we'll say this shit again.
Boy, look here. Little boys learn.
He said, "I gotta."
You know what I'm saying? From everything that mom says and from everything that dad does, right? Because
well, you need an organ over there.
It's important for women to speak life into their children, period, but especially to their sons. You know what I'm saying? Telling them that, you know what I'm saying, they not nothing because the daddy ain't nothing, or I can't stand you because you look just like your daddy and stuff like that. We gotta. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the route to take.
Are you gonna be just like your daddy or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. You know what I'm saying? But Ashley, you was gonna say something before I interrupted?
Yeah, so that's why I feel like, it's more important to focus on like what's going on in our household, irregardless of if anybody wants to say, oh, you're doing this with you're putting, nobody can tell you that because that's your child to raise. Nobody can tell you how your child. It's important what we show our children in the household before anybody can try and, butt themselves in. We could always ignore the toxic masculinity. Somebody can say that all day, but if like, I know myself, I know my child, I want to grow up a young man that is eager to be a provider. I want to grow up a young man that is eager to protect his loved ones. You know what you're supposed to show that child, and you know what you're supposed to teach that child to, get them to that point. That's why we got to focus on, what's going on in our household and forget all that other noise of what other people want to say, because they don't know what's going on. They don't know our kids. They don't know that. I feel like it's important. We just got to focus on our own, make sure that we grow them up the way that we want them to be.
I love that.
Can we touch on Man Down's podcast network last thing? He said, on the other hand, too much masculinity in a woman is toxic. What's your thoughts on that?
Hey, that's a whole nother show.
Hey, we'll see you next time, man.
See you next time. You know what I'm saying?
Put that one on ice. Put that one on ice.
Keep that one on ice.
We're gonna put that one on ice, man. We're gonna put that one on ice.
I'm gonna need a blunt and another.
And masculinity in the man can't be toxic ever. What's your thoughts on that?
That's
what about
the
one before that?
Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a fact. Now I think that's a fact too.
That's a fact.
You want a strong man, a strong masculine man.
Facts. So, man, look, this has been a good show, man. I appreciate y'all, you know what I'm saying, having this conversation, you know what I'm saying, with me. Mar, you know what I'm saying, I appreciate you, you know what I mean, stepping in for Peaches, man, you know what I'm saying, pinch hitting for me, you know what I'm saying. Shout out to my girl doing her thing. Get that bag.
Get that bag.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
That
So
CBD, Ashley, I got stocks.
for real. Hey, give us Ashley and Doc, give us a minute, and then you know, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Stay on.
All right.
Bar, man, I appreciate you, my boy. We're gonna get out of here, man. You got any shout outs?
Oh man, big shout outs to the whole Man Down podcast unit.
Indeed.
Always love between y'all and us at I Often Wonder network. Man, great show. Again, sincere, just thanks, man. Look, you know, appreciate just anytime I can talk and chop it up with y'all.
No problem, man. I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, standing in. You had some big shoes to fill, you know what I'm talking about. I appreciate you.
They weren't easy.
Yeah. I appreciate everybody, you know what I'm saying, for listening. And again, please follow us on every platform, Black Owned Podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube page. I got over 700 followers on Facebook, and I got like 50 subscribers on YouTube. So please hop on over to the YouTube and subscribe. As the more we begin to get the numbers up over there, we're going to have extra content that we're going to post only to the YouTube page, man. So do that if you can. Ted, Russ, thank you. I appreciate it. And don't forget, I look forward to having you on the show sometime in March. But until then, man, this is the Black Owned Podcast, man, and we'll see y'all on the next edition.
I don't hate, I motivate my people to elevate and rise above the fray to show God's great. Not blasphemous, but magnanimous, without any animus to show that they're fabulous. With a little bashfulness being the catalyst for adult learners to conquer calculus, mathematics, regression.